I've always, since I was little also, I've always, you know, I was the kind of kid that climbed the highest tree on the windy day, and I designed the films for within my ability, and I push my ability for doing things. So when you're seeing the films, yeah, they're really designed for me. Yes. So there's, you know.
You get to practice a lot before you really shoot them.
Some things, like I'm shooting Mission Impossible right now, and some of the there's a stunt in there I can't really talk about, but I've been thinking about doing it for many years, maybe 15 years, and I've been training for this one for about 2 years. Just for this one.
Training
just
so
for this
many
one
years
sequence.
for one shot?
For one sequence.
So wow.
Been training, and it's very tricky. So it's a very tricky thing. So I plan it ahead of time, and then I prepare for it. Like in The Mummy, there's a sequence that an airplane crash.
Yes, the upside down, rolling everywhere.
Well, we shot that in a real airplane. And we went to France, and it's called Zero G. So we took the airplane into Zero G for this sequence, and like that scene I was thinking about for many years, and I was actually going to put into a Mission Impossible. But when Universal came to me with The Mummy, and Alex Kurtzman, the director and writer, came to me, I said I'm going to put this sequence in this airplane, in this airplane sequence in this film for you. So yes, you know, I mean, you have to prepare a long time for your performances, don't you?
Yeah,
training, dancing, and singing,
But stunt is different.
Yeah, but it's the same. Listen, you know, in order to be successful and to do something well, you have to keep training, and you have to. It takes.
Yeah.
People don't know the level and the hours that you spend to perfect it for them, and that's okay, because you know you put in that level of work. And same with the stunts. I mean, on Rogue Nation, the side of an airplane, you know, I wanted to do that. So there's some things that, you know, it is a stunt when I'm doing it too, because sometimes we're going in and you know the things we're doing are very dangerous. So you prepare as best you can, you know, to.
Is there any scenes that you failed before and then you stopped doing?
Well, when I did, you know, when you're doing it, the first time you're doing stunts, sometimes, like even in the airplane, we didn't get it right away. We did it 64 times. We were doing it's called a parabola. Yeah. So we're going up into Zero G, and we had to do it many times, because in that particular stunt, you couldn't rehearse it, you just had to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky I don't get sick, you know, I don't get airsick, and a lot of the crew.
Fearless.
Yeah, you know what, I get nervous sometimes, but I am pretty fearless. When I was doing Rogue Nation, the side of the airplane, there's a scene in Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible, where the airplane takes off, and I'm on the side of the airplane. And I have to say, the first time that thing took off, because I'm worried about a rock going through, and if it goes through my skull. So there's moments where you just feel that adrenaline. You're going, you know, maybe this wasn't such a good idea, you know?
Yeah.
But there is that moment you just have to focus on. You got to focus on it. But you know what it's like. I mean, you got to get on stage, you got to sing, you got to dance and perform, and you know, every single time it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect, and you want it to be great, and you give everything to it. And that's, for me, I give everything to my movies and my, you know, for my fans, and for people who love movies, as I love movies. And I remember thinking, if I get this opportunity to make films, I will never take it for granted, and I never have. I mean, I'm someone, I've never been late for work in my life. I've never missed a day of work in my life. So I really take it very seriously. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know what it's like.
I do believe of learning new technique is important.
Yes.
That gave me the vibe of like keep going on. But when when learning something that I didn't know, that sometimes it's giving me lots of excitement. But with the professional helps, that builds me up with my confidence. So when the music or the light is on, everything just goes away. I can just like focus. I think that's how, when the camera sets and
when you're
then
ready, you're in the moment.
Yeah.
It's the anticipation, it's the beforehand where you're thinking about it, you know?
It's like, I think a lot, but when it's like 3, 2, 1, and then it's go away.
That it is like that. You're just now you're there. I remember the night, the night before I'm doing some of these scenes or stunts, or I actually get very excited before I'm starting a movie. It's just like I can't sleep. I'm so excited. And with movies, some people think there's a script and then you go shoot the script. That's not how I make movies. I have a script for the most part, but really I'm exploring the story when I'm doing it. So I'll change things. I write every day and I'll change things. And as it's evolving, just, you see, you're cast an actor, an actress, and I want to build the roles for them. And you're trying to discover what the tone of your movie is. And it's a very fluid process. So that makes it very exciting for me. But I do know what you mean. When you're rolling and it's going, we're here now. I'm very much in present time, and let's get it done. And sometimes the big major stunts that I've done, we're prepping and prepping and prepping, and it's something that I train every day, pretty much. And I remember, I'm looking at the airplane that I have to be on the side of that airplane the night before, and you're thinking what's going to happen. You're just kind of putting it out there. It's all going to go well. It's all going to go well, and it always usually does. I've never been injured making movies. But he sent me this picture of Sofia Boutella, and we didn't have a script really yet, but I just had this image of her as the mummy, and I just thought this is going to be really exciting.